Greetings and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe, and in this video we will be doing some gameplay from the game Burden of Command. Now this is one I did the demo for, which ran you through the training, and I now have replayed that training and we are ready to actually begin the campaign. So I'm going to click my continue button. And we will continue our campaign here. So we're still at Camp Pickett. It is the 25th of September, 1942. So let's hit continue your journey. Tank country. Okay, so we're still in training. This is a part of the training that was not in the demo. Okay. All right, September 26th, it's a Saturday. Trouble in the barracks. 6 cartons of K rations were found stashed in the ceiling. Sergeant Bennett unhappy about it. Now, if you did not watch the first video I did on this, or you're completely unfamiliar with this game, I would suggest watching my first video on it, or some of the other content creators who have done video on this game. It is kind of it's a war game, and there is a tactical aspect to it, hex-based movement and combat, tactical, very familiar type of interface, you might say, although it treats things a little bit differently, and the game system's really well thought out and everything, but it's also kind of a role-playing game where you are playing the role of a leader, a lieutenant as you start off, leading a platoon in the Army, and so you have decisions that you have to make, which will have various impacts on the story as it unfolds across the war. So here you have a situation, right? So we have some K rations stashed in the ceiling. Sergeant found it, and now there's discipline that needs to be handed out, right? So you can punish all your men, and it'll tell you what, kind of what that means. At the top there, you can see the men will be punished as a platoon. 1 squad will be punished. You can investigate further, and you can say no one will be punished. Those would all have various impacts on how the men see you and perhaps how the Army sees you. I would choose here investigate further. You conduct a quick investigation, look for candy wrappers and biscuit crumbs. No such clues surface, and soon enough you're forced to wrap things up. An inquiry might follow, but that could take weeks to resolve. So now you're back to another choice, and again you have the same thing. So we're just going to do the paperwork and ask for an inquiry. We're going to play it by the book. We're not just going to randomly punish everybody, which the military has been known to do. I'm not going to pick out a subset on relatively flimsy evidence and decide to punish them, and I'm not going to turn a blind eye either, because you don't want to encourage rule breaking. So we will do the paperwork. By the time it catches up with the company, you may already be overseas, but no one can doubt that you went through the proper channels. That's what I was trying to do. And then you can do something here, and it tells you here the men will gain a little XP, but you'll lose some trust. And then here, a few of the men will gain a very little XP, and you lose a little bit of trust. And then you can just do an additional fire watch is warranted. So let's just do that. All right, let's move on. Okay, it's Monday, and Sergeant Bennett and I watch the men march past while Sergeant Grant calls cadence. They are 2 lean rows to review their full packs and rifles swaying beneath a colorful canopy. A fine Virginia day for a march with blue skies and a cooling wind. So I'm going to say, have I prepared them sufficiently? Yeah, we'll do this. You fall in beside them, your own gait matching their own. Along the nearby road, you see other officers of Nickel Company talking in the shade of a big oak tree, their own platoons resting nearby. Can't say either way, Wilson says to Dearborn and Stern. his voice just barely edging above the marching song. You never know until you hear the first bullet snap. You can't be friends with the man you sent to die. So then again, you have things here that you need to kind of decide. I mean, you can eavesdrop a little longer. Let's just do this. Soft touch to be certain, Dearborn replies. Battle's the only way to separate gold from dross, and our favored lieutenant has yet to feel that heat. Stern stays notably silent. None of them quite glance your way when you finally approach. So, all right, now we got a tank showing up here. This would be Captain Lamb right here, company commander of Nickel Company. And he says, Lieutenant, the Army's fixing to provide additional training for Nickel Company. There will be an armored integration exercise. Your men have been chosen to fight alongside actual tanks. So we will wait for him to go on. This is a splendid opportunity. Your leadership recommended your platoon for additional training. You have their trust, and that's good, but some feel you play favorites, but that's never mind. Let's grip the hide on this one. The men are to march on over for a final field problem, but you will guide this beast to the training ground to get an idea of what a tank can do. Now pay special attention to the methods of our steely brethren, for they are a strange people. I heard that, a voice calls out from the hatch of the tank. Sergeant Lintz. Okay, and so he's who we're going to be working with. And let's say good division of labor. All right, Lintz and the bandit. Hop aboard the tank, take up a position behind the turret. There is, after all, no room inside for an extra man. The tanker, wearing recently sewn sergeant stripes, idly taps at the steel that virtually surrounds him. Okay, where to, Lieutenant? Sergeant Lintz asks. The white stencil name on the side of the turret reads Bandit. Our initial objective's across the river there, but maybe you want to take the scenic view. So we can ask for a little bit more information about the tank. Why not? Well, the Army calls it an M3 light tank. Most people call it a Stuart. We have our own name for her. But what's important is that the Bandit here has a 37mm cannon, 3 machine guns, and burns gas like a fox in a henhouse. Across the way, an umpire signals you. Time to start. Let's go. Okay, we're driving. We're going to hang on. Yep, crossing a rickety looking bridge here. All right. Okay, move that metal. Left click selects all units in a hex. Right click and axe. Tanks can't pass through heavy terrain unless they follow a road. So tanks can pass through light woods, medium woods. Tanks cannot pass through rocky terrain. Tanks cannot traverse heavy woods. They're fine on roads. Good enough. Swamp is utterly impassable. We have bridges up here, motor over here. Getting into water is right out, so we don't want to do that. So we can take our tank here and say we're going to drive. Well, I think it wants us to go this way. So we'll go here and set a waypoint. Then we'll go here and set a waypoint. I think I'm doing it right, aren't I? Too far. What? All right. Move here and here. Okay. Now we're pretty much out of action there, so we will hit our next turn. Now we can still not move, so we have to wait for the next turn. Okay, let's head for the bridge. And that shield symbol that we saw when I was over here and so on, that's a that means you're hidden. Looks like the bridge is out here, but we're gonna attempt to cross. And we made it. Okay, the driver eases into neutral and lets the bandit coast to a halt. Sergeant Lynch pops back up and then gestures broadly to the field of green in front of you. Welcome to the range, LT. In a few minutes, we get to take some shots. For real, the bandit's little 37mm gun might seem like it's better suited for hunting squirrels, but it's got quite a kick. So we can ask him some personal questions if we want. I'll skip that for brevity. But if you did click it, you can see here, you can say never mind, which means you're done. Why is your tank called the Bandit? You can click that and find out. Has anyone get a nickname? Someone gives it to you. Is your gunner a good shot? Let's say he's had plenty of practice. Liam said you were busted down. It limited us to 3 rounds on the range, and apparently I can't count, but no harm done, right? All it meant was that we got more practice. All right, enough chatting. Let's get to the firing range. How do you want this? I've given a lift to plenty of officers, and they all learn differently. So who are you really? All right, what kind of leader am I? There are 8 different mindsets, so now I'm going to pick something here. 8 different mindsets a leader might employ to help them navigate the ever-present tension between men and missions that often boils over into the crucibles of war. All right, I know what a crucible is, so let's talk about mindsets. 3 are aggressive: doctrine, idealism, and zeal. 3 others are preventative: cunning, discipline, and caution. And there are those centered specifically on the men or the mission: compassion or professionalism. Let's see. Doctrine pursues solution via army methods. Idealism focuses on inspiring the men. Zeal seeks to overcome trouble with vigorous effort. Cunning adapts and exploits new situations. Discipline focuses on regimentation and training to maintain unit cohesion. Caution seeks to prevent the worst from happening. Compassion compels the men to great things by the bonds of fellowship. Professionalism achieves success by utilizing the army systems. All right. A leader's primary mindset influences what other mindsets they can learn. 2 to the left of it on the wheel and 2 to the right of them. That means a given leader may invest in only 5 mindsets total. Okay, so attainable, we have caution, compassion, idealism, and zeal. So let's see here. Primary mindset will be very important. Each has a passive ability and either an active ability or a company ability. If a leader possesses a mindset value greater than 2, then that mindset's abilities become enabled. A lieutenant may employ a single active ability of any type only once per scenario. A captain may employ an active ability for each mindset that's enabled. Passive abilities may trigger repeatedly for any leader under certain circumstances. Okay, so it's an investment. And let's just say that mindsets can have a value no higher than 5. Furthermore, no more than 3 total mindsets may be enabled with a value greater than 2. For example, Lieutenant Dearborn might have these mindsets available to him. Idealism 0, it's not enabled. Zeal 2, not enabled. The value is largely just Chrome. Cunning 5, primary and enabled. Professionalism 4, enabled. Discipline 3, enabled. Okay, 5 possible mindsets, up to 3 enabled. Each leader could be very different. Let's do that. Undergoing a crucible may allow that leader to acquire or advance a given mindset. Okay, combat fatigue will be discussed once you enter actual combat. Let's do the Army way. By the book, active ability. Your men know the drill. Officer and their immediate reports gain an extra order. For a captain, this means they're lieutenants. For a lieutenant, their squads. Well rehearsed. It's a passive ability. Occasionally, if a unit with the officer is about to become spent, the unit instead regains an order and up to 3 suppression is removed due to the steadying influence of their routine. However, the officer gains experience points 15% slower. All right, let's look at the other ones here. How about compassion? Band of Brothers, company ability. Compassion can deepen trust, reduce stress. Loyalty points are plus 15% for a lieutenant and a plus 20% for a captain. Increase 20 to 30% at level 5 each such leader adds. However, compassion comes at a personal cost, increased combat fatigue for this leader by 20%. And our passive ability, Comrades in Arms, on occasion a squad moving with this leader regains a casualty. A straggler has returned or a light wound is overcome. All right, how about Caution, which is not one I'm probably going to choose, but let's look at it anyway. Caution prevents send scouting party, which is the active ability. Select a reachable hex. You're guaranteed to reveal all enemies in the targeted hex and all adjacent hexes. That's actually pretty useful. You also gain a normal line of sight check from the targeted hex as if a unit were present. Your scouts are out there. However, if enemies are adjacent to or worse in that hex, a friendly unit may take casualties, scouts lost. Sixth Sense passive ability. Occasionally a concealed enemy that has not yet been seen will be revealed. So it's basically like scouting. And then we've got Discipline. Pour It On, active ability. This officer's men know how to gain fire superiority. They acquire a significantly enhanced change to win initiative akin to flanking and an improved fire effect akin to from above. The men also become undaunted when receiving fire. However, this costs the squad 2 orders to execute. Unyielding is the passive ability. On occasion, if receiving fire, the officer and men will first become undaunted and then rally for free after the conclusion. Discipline. Battle's brutal. There's no flinching from that, and the goal of a discipline-based leader is to make it so that their soldiers will not break and run from the inferno of combat. All right. I'm inclined to do it the army way. By the book, you might know the drill. I mean, we gain an extra order. That's kind of nice. And you can regain an order and up to 3 suppression removed, but you lose the ability to progress. This is a tough choice, actually. Maybe it should be this one. You know what? I'm going to go with Doctrine. That was my initial thought, so let's go with that. That will do for now. Target practice on the way. So we're going to move on here. Best part of the day for us, not so great for the trucks, but not everyone can be a winner. Direct us to the course and we'll blow something up. Okay, so we have to move here. So I guess we have to pass the round and end the turn. Sergeant Lance makes a great show of surveying the fields to the fore. Okay, here we go. Moving here. I was expecting it to use the road. I didn't realize I should have used some path for it. Okay, I'll get sniped 1 max. I get it. Let's move on. Let's go. We should have gone around this way. Okay, lesson learned. Our familiar captain with his clipboard. This is the referee, the umpire. Slowly shakes his head and marks something down with a definitive stroke of a pencil. Yeah, we died. We get it. Sergeant Lentz notes. That fellow gets most of us at least once. Always use a covered approach when practical. I actually knew that. I wasn't thinking about it because I assumed that the tank would pathfind itself. Lesson learned, my friends. All right, moving on. The bandit clatters to a halt. In the distance are several burned out trucks. Okay, so we're going to blow some trucks up, I guess. All right, we have to, so we need to stop. There's a lot that goes into taking a shot. Accuracy sucks pawn stones if we're moving. We have to call a short halt if we're going to open fire. If the target's moving, things get dicey. If we can take time to aim all proper like, we've got a better chance of putting a round where it hurts. Yes. Gunner moves into position behind the cannon, shifting it about the last few degrees toward the burned out truck. The rule on the range is fire first, hit your mark, and go deep. Everything else is frosting on the cake. Let's take the shot. All right. Shoot the tank. I'm going to get killed again if I go rambling up here. Or should I go here? Let's go there. Okay. Alright, so we have to go to the next round. Because the steward does not have any actions left. Alright, now let's shoot at this guy. So here you have orders, aimed fire. Okay, so let's halt. And let's shoot right here. Gunner high explosive, truck ahead on my command. Fire. Okay, so we blew up the truck. So that's high explosive. We've also got shot for armored targets. Let's prepare to fire at the next target. Don't you mean armored piercing? That could sound like a know-it-all. Let's just move on. Okay. So now we have to move up and we have to shoot at this guy, I guess. So first we have to aim our turn. Bokopedia. There's ever so much to learn, but the Army supplies plenty of manuals in addition to exercises like this one. Have you opened the Bokopedia yet? There is a lot in there that we can't fit in here. Yes, I have actually looked at that. Great. Our team hopes you found a useful reference for all the things that we can't possibly cover in these scenarios. Although we'd like to think you had a few laughs too. Yes, it is amusing. All right. Let's aim at this guy. All right. Good hit. All right. That's the shooting drill. All right. Move here. Shoot the other truck. Okay. I don't think we have any actions. We do not. So again, we have to end our turn. Suppose I could press these guys. Yeah, I could have, but I didn't. All right, let's move up here. Then there. Oh, got an enemy. Got enemies. Whole bunch of enemies. It's an ambush! Okay, could have been a mess even if they don't have AT guns up front. Time to reverse into a protected position and wait for support. Press the reverse button to move the tank backward without turning the unit around. That will keep the armor and the cannon facing the enemy, a good thing, right? Okay, so we're going to reverse to here, but we have to stop, I guess. Well, let me actually halt. We can press. Now we have some movement, and we will reverse to here. All right. We're in position. Sergeant Lynch calls out. Now we can wait for your boys to show. Tanks can assault enemy positions. After all, that's the infantry's job. Let's do a combined arms attack. That's the idea. It was good to have you, but now, Lieutenant, you should rejoin your fellow Mudfoots. Alright, so here's our objectives. These are buttons. Yeah, you can click the buttons and it'll give you information on your victory conditions. Take the objective, finish the exercise. Correct. So see here, you just click this and you get information and it tells you what level you're at and things you've done, which we've done pretty much nothing. We have 3 objectives so far, and then we can click the other one and it says major victories so far. Friendly casualties between 0 and 9%. So there you have it. We are up here. Okay, so let's see what else we've got. Where are my guys? I guess we need to end our turn first. All right, turns left 14. The final objective is just over there. Okay. All right, here's Luke. That'd be Luke Hughes, the guy in charge here of the game. Things are about to get real. The burden of command and tension between men and mission is about to increase. Your opponents will become more capable. So I'm wishing you the best of luck in making those difficult decisions, for making it through this campaign and this war, and for having an engaging experience. The more I hope, and the vets who are on this team also hope, it will connect you to those who have served. Okay, yep. Nice. Very nice. That's very nice. It is time to finish your training. All right. Here's Captain Lamb. Here's the objective. Where am I? Well, we can click on them and find them here. Oh, I'm right here. Lieutenant Hexed, baby, there he is. And these are my units. The spades. All right, over here we have our mortar crew. There's Wilson. Where's Dearborn? Oh, that's Wilson. So it's Wilson and me, plus the tankers and Captain Lamb. Got it. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. So we have first platoon, that's mine. Wonder if I should have Captain Lamb pull a mortar on us here. And we don't have any line of sight. That's a problem. Because he's back here. Okay, so forget that. Gotta think about this a little bit. All right, so we have Captain Lamb here. I'd like to move him here. I'm just afraid if, well, let's see. Just gotta hope for the best. Okay, so we have, they did not have the range. All right, now he can see this. The green indicates, the lighter green indicates what he can see, and now I can call in mortars on this objective here. All right. here, let's see. Oh, there's someone here, flanked from above. So we can use him to bolster, which is this guy right here. And the shortcut for that is B. And if we right click here, he can bolster units that are next to him, which just means giving them a little like encouragement. And then we can say, we want you to fire here. Okay. Now, let's see. So they, as you can see, they have no orders available, so they're basically done now. And that's my third squad. This is me. I have my other two squads are here and here. You can see they have, this is first squad of first platoon. This is second squad. They have full orders. I have 3 of my 4 orders available. Let's have these guys, let's see, they can move there, they can move here. Let's move them here, and we'll take these guys, move them here, and then I will stay right here with my men for the moment. I have 1 order left. Now, let's see. Okay, these guys can see them, but they're not going to have the range, I don't think, to shoot up here. These guys can also see that. So they could probably move there. They moved here. He can't see that, and he can't see this. Then we would have cover here and here. Trying to seize this objective and do it as expeditiously as possible. Let's destroy this truck. I think we can do that. Do I want to make Captain Lamb do it? I guess he can't do that. All right. So we can't do anything with the tankers right now. So let's, what's this squad situation here? So you can always hover over them and get an idea of what their situation is. Okay, I think what I'd like to do here is the key, if you haven't picked that up, is to suppress, right? The 4 Fs, find, fix, flank, and finish. So we've got, to fix them, you suppress them, right? So this unit here is suppressed. You can see the that it's got the red here. This unit's also suppressed. We fired on it. We're above them. They were surprised, so that gives you the benefit of, you know, being able to, and these guys are all lightly suppressed. So yellow indicates lightly suppressed. In this case, the leader, as you can see, the leader is lightly suppressed. The cavalry squad is fully suppressed. So since we have Wilson over here, I was thinking we'd use Wilson to, and I already used a mortar. That's how we suppressed most of these guys, except for this one, to kind of come up from this side, right? We've got 2 options here. The objective's in the middle, and we've got them on both flanks, so they can't really defend both at the same time, but we would also need to suppress these other squads to make sure that we don't get our butt shot off while we're trying to get up here to the objective. You don't necessarily have to knock these guys out, but luckily we do have our armor down here that we can use to help with that. Now, what I was planning on doing here, and I don't know if this is what I should do or not, is I have my lieutenant here and my 3rd squad, who were over here, I think, right? and they got spooked and they retreated back here. Now I can press them, right, which restores one order to a non-leader unit, but then I would not be able to actually issue the order to move them. However, Captain Lamb could do that. He could also press them for me, and then I could use them and move back up into this spot, which was what I was planning on doing. Now, this, I guess, is, I don't recognize that symbol, but I guess that is a bunker, perhaps, which is where Captain Lamb was originally, until I moved him out to allow him to directly command, because he can command units that are with him or in the hex adjacent to him, whereas the lieutenants can only command units that they are, well, I shouldn't say command, they can only take actions on units like pressing them, rallying them, or bolstering them if they are in the same hex, right? That's where your leadership abilities come in, and you can see bolster improves their morale, gives them movement points, and does some nice things, improves their chances of passing a morale check. You know, if I gave a unit in order to assault this squad here, they would have to pass a morale check to do it. They need to pass morale checks sometimes just to even move, because any of these yellow enclosed hexes indicate places that they would be vulnerable to enemy fire. The nice thing is, with this one suppressed and this one suppressed, they can actually move this way without being subject to enemy fire. And I can also move these guys because they both have an action left, but I only have one and the captain only has one. And if I use the captain, then I can't use the captain to help Wilson, and I guess the armor guy is separate. Anyway, he's not in Lamb's chain of command, perhaps. So I can take this squad, and again, I'm in charge. You can see leading, right? Or I could take Lamb and have him take command. Or maybe not, because he's not adjacent. Actually, that's true. He's not adjacent to those guys. He is adjacent to these guys, though. So that is a bit of a sticky wicket here. But these guys can move. And we have an enemy unit up here that's also suppressed. So, like this squad here, if we take a quick look at them, they are not bolstered. You can see they have 3 movement points. Their weapon range is 5. There's 12 of them, exact XP 17. No combat fatigue. So let's, I'm going to move them here. And you can see that circle there in the green filled area indicates their chance of actually performing that order, because of the fact that there are enemy units nearby and they may fail the morale check and not take it. So let's try it and see what happens. See, MC risk exposed fire. They did their, I mean, they don't know, I guess, that they're technically exposed, but not really exposed, because the 3 units that could actually reach them with their weapons are all, and I'm not even sure these guys could because they're kind of hidden behind this elevation. But this one definitely, this machine gun here definitely could have shot at them, but was not able to, obviously. And then these guys are suppressed as well. So I could take my other squad and move them as well, but I would probably prefer to move them in here rather than just stick them out on the open road. I could also put them here, which might be a better choice. So let's do this and see if they pass their, and see they failed their morale checks. They're like, nope, not doing it. Sorry, LT. All right, so, and because they were already activated, I did not have to use an order to move them. So now I could use Lamb if we select the squad. I think I can use Lamb. Well, he can, yeah, he can press. So if I hit this to press, he can press this squad, and that would give them an action back. That's also going to increase their fatigue. But if we're trying to move up and do something useful, that might be worth doing. So let's have him press this hex. and we're going to move the squad. Just the squad. Well, they won't move where I want them to move, so let's just put them with the captain, I guess. And then I'm going to move myself up here with these guys who chickened out on me. So that next turn, I can give them a little encouragement or a slap in the head and say, you know, get your act in gear here because we have a job to do. All right, so now they're done. And so once you spend a leader, and I actually spent 2 leaders, but the captain is kind of his own independent thing, but I spent a leader, so I have to turn over the round and let the enemy go, so the axis, and you can see that they rallied. But these 2 are not rallied. But this guy rallied his men, so they're now yellow instead of red. And so now we can go to Wilson, or we can go to our tanker here. So let's do the tank, and let's take care of this because that's one of our not in firing arc. Right, we got to turn. We can turn. If it's this way, now we can shoot at them. We stop. And we can't shoot at him. Well, shoot, man. Because this is movement, and that's not what I want. What I want is to shoot, and I perhaps need 2 actions to shoot. This requires 2 actions, I suppose. Yep, 2 orders. I say actions, they're called orders in this game. Actions, orders, kind of the same thing, but let's use the proper terminology for the game, which is orders. So I need another order to do what I wanted to do here, which kind of stinks, but what are you going to do? So let's move him. We're going to move him here, I think. He should be fine there, and then we should be able to knock that truck out. Which I don't even know if I have to do that, but whatever. So now we'll just let him stop. And halt. And we'll let him bolster these guys. All right. So now he's done. We'll skip. They'll do something. They're rallying. And he moved. So these guys are now rallied as well. So now let's have some of Wilson's men attack these guys. So now you can see he has no line of sight there, but he does have a line of sight to here. Now, the range isn't great. But let me see something here. Yeah, we don't want to move because that would open us up to fire from... I don't know if they would actually fire at us, would they? Maybe they would. They can't see this way. So let's do this. Let's have Wilson and his men go here. Come on, don't fail your leadership. Oh, come on, man. Tried it twice. There we go. All right. Now from here, let's press our men. We're going to press our men. And I don't think we can reach it. We can't, but we can assault these guys. Except that we'll fail at it. You can see there that it's a red circle, very limited chance of actually doing anything there. So what we'll do instead is we're just going to shoot at him. He's got one command left, so we will not be bolstering. So we've suppressed them a little bit more. Hopefully, yes, they are red. Now, next turn, we can move up some more and maybe get in range to actually do something. Now, the problem is we don't have the ability to activate these guys because he used all his actions in moving that squad up there. So that probably wasn't the best usage of my men, and so now we're basically done. We're going to end, and we're going to end the turn, and we're going to go to turn 13. All right, so final objective has not changed. Now, I'm going to take this guy, and we're going to assault here. That's the goal. Get in there, and it's a 50-50 chance. We'll see. Come on. No resistance. Good. So that'll give them a little bump, give them a little experience, make them happy, etc., etc. Now we can also move them up again, and let's move them. Do we want to do that? Let's see. You can see it. Would they be able to shoot at it? Let's see, if we do this, go there and there. Okay, so we're going to stay in relative cover. And it didn't really work. All right, so that was the risk. Okay. That was certainly the risk. Now, let's bolster these guys. Let's assault these guys. I thought he would go with them, and he didn't. Ugh. Move him down here. Okay, now I'm going to take Lamb. And okay, they surrendered. Good, good, good. All right, so I screwed this one up, but I didn't screw this one up, so that's good. All right. Let's do our armor here so I can make sure I take care of this. So we want to fire here. Oh, right. Can't do that right now, Joe, because you need to end your phase with that leader so the next leader can take over. Don't be a moron. All right. Now let's try this again. Now we can take an aimed shot, blow this thing up. Must be a hard target. Oh, you are really killing me right now. let's move. Why can't I shoot? I mean, that was the goal when we were up here, was to shoot it. Okay, that works for me. Now, can he take command here? I don't think he can. All right, let's take these guys out. Oh, very low chance. All right, forget it. They are suppressed, however, so let's have them shoot at these guys. How many actions? He has 2 left. Let's just bolster to improve. Okay, we will bolster. And we will shoot now. All right. Now we have our tank here. Can't press, I guess, but we'll bolster. All right, now we'll end. Now we've got Wilson. So let's move him and his squad through the woods to here. And now let's take this guy, and then can they shoot down here? They are suppressed. So that's good. So let's bolster. And now let's assault. Let's see if we can take the objective here. 50% chance. Well, good, they went for it. Nice. Nice. Red team just lost again. All right. This is pretty funny. Talking about the tank getting bogged down. All right. Uh-oh. Wow, this is tough. Man, I gotta try to pull him out. Oh, yeah, that is graphic. Oof, that was rough, man. That was rough. All right, no one out of action, sir. Okay, so I'm going to stop here since we're almost an hour in, and we'll do another video with the next part of the story. So this ended up being another training. I had not played ahead, so I did not know that that was what was going to happen. So I'm learning, I'm seeing this for the first time as I'm doing it, which I think is the best way, you know, to be fresh and see what happens. So I ended up mangling my own hand, but I saved Sergeant Bennett's life, so that is, I think, a worthwhile trade-off. And hopefully I will be able to continue, but we'll see what happens here. So let's exit. But for now, let's just say we're done with this particular video, and there'll be another one that obviously follows on to give more detail and more progress in the campaign. So I thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of it and enjoyed it. I know there was a lot of me reading things and maybe not as much action, but the second half was a lot of action as we kind of took out that last objective, and I think probably finished our training now, and maybe we'll be sent off for the Operation Torch, and the landing in North Africa should be coming up, I would think. But anyway, if you have any questions, comments, or anything else to say, feel free to put it up in the comment section, and I will do my best to reply, as I always do. But that will do it for this one. So until next time, I am Joe. This is the Hexed Encounter channel, and as always, happy gaming.